wasn't expecting to do this. This was a little bit of an impromptu live from myself. I was umming and ahhing whether to do this as a recording, a kick out tomorrow. And then I just thought, because this is live, this is happening in real time, I just thought, you know what, stuff it. I'm going to go live. So you've seen the headline, I'm guessing, on this, that obviously it would appear that Tottenham Hotspur have beaten Manchester United in the race to sign Mateus Fernandes. Now, it's not, as I understand it, been ratified, been signed, sealed and delivered by Tottenham Hotspur themselves. However, when you get someone that is as well respected as Fabrizio Romano, now look, he will from time to time get the odd thing incorrect. I'll just go full screen with that, but you can see that for yourself. That is on X to say that, as I say, from Fabrizio Romano, this is, in my opinion, as good as seeing a player holding aloft the scarf while wearing the shirt, signing the contract. You know the sort of photographs we're talking about. This is the next best thing. Breaking: Tottenham agree club record deal for Mateus Fernandes. Here we go in big capital letters. When you see that on X, as I say, that is the next best thing of seeing the official club photographs, videos, and all of them things. It goes on to say the agreement is in place at £85 million fixed fee as West Ham accept the price they've always asked. 100% guaranteed. As David Ornstein reports, Manchester United will now focus on different targets in midfield. So obviously, like I say, we wait and see that it's going to be officially announced by Tottenham Hotspur in due course, as I would imagine that will come very soon. But Mateus Fernandes appears to be an ex-West Ham United player. I mean, we bought him a year ago for 38 million quid. There's the 15% sell-on fee to Southampton that we obviously need to honour. I'm not entirely sure whether it's profit or the total outlay that the 15% is on. I'm going to guess it's the latter, but we'll wait and see. But I think we've actually done quite well in my book. I think that we're quite used to, in the David Sullivan era, being pushed around by teams. I mean, you've only got to look at 12 months ago at what happened when we sold Mohamed Kudus to the same Tottenham Hotspur team. There was a clause. We were never going to get, 85 billion quid. We were never going to get that. But to only let him go for, 55 million quid? I mean, you sit there and go, that beggars belief. And you just sort of sit there and go, had David Sullivan been in harness, I'm pretty convinced we wouldn't have got the 85 million pounds that we've asked for. We'd have probably got 60, 55, something like that. We'd have again walked away from that deal and felt that we'd have had our trousers well and truly ripped down beyond our ankles. But this is good news as far as I'm concerned. We've got the price. We've got the price that we've asked for. That's 85 million quid in the kitty. Daniel Kretinsky now has a decision to make as to how much he will make available of that 85 million quid. Because look, we got to recognise we're 150 million pounds thereabouts in debt. We've dropped out of the Premier League into the Championship. There'll be some cutting of our cloth that we need to do in due course. But look, I wish him all the best. We got relegated not because of the performance of Mateus Fernandes. We got relegated because of crap investiture in multiple summer transfer windows, winter transfer windows, getting managers in that were not up to the mark as far as West Ham were concerned. Multiple failures over a course of time. That's what's led us to here. We didn't get relegated because of Mateus Fernandes. We got relegated despite his best efforts. I got no problem with it. I'd have preferred him to go abroad, but I think once he'd set his stall out, I believe probably a lot of it is probably the financial package that Tottenham have managed to put together. And I think probably he likes living in London. He's probably got used to London life, because I can't make another case for him turning Manchester United down. Factually, they are a bigger club. They finished above them in the Premier League this season, as well as last season. Let's have it right. Tottenham have finished in 17th place in the Premier League in 2 consecutive seasons. And he's just been relegated twice. So you sort of sit there and go, what would be his motivation for going there? He's not getting European football. He's going to a team that have diced with death the last 2 seasons. All right, the 2 seasons ago, maybe they didn't. They finished 17th, but they were never in a relegation battle. But they were factually 17th that season that they won the Europa League. And he's, despite that, gone there over Manchester United, who had Champions League football. So the only thing I can think is that it must have been the financial package to one element, and the other element is probably that he just preferred living in London to going up to Manchester, I guess. Good luck to him. Look, if any of you guys that are watching this right now that are new to the channel, in the top left-hand corner, you can see a QR code. If you get your mobile device out, if you scan that, it will take you to our YouTube subscription page. And for subscribing to the channel is completely free of charge. It doesn't cost you a copper coin. We don't get any data sensitive information. It just helps to keep the channel moving forwards. Last look I had, 2,114 subs. Woohoo! So we're moving along. Join us if you're not already. I mean, when I looked at the analytics, this is the wonders of YouTube, is you can look at the analytics and it says that about 65% of the people that have watched the content on the channel in the last 28 days are not subscribed. So if you're not subscribed, as I say, just let's say you've got that over there, that QR code, you can scan it with your mobile device, takes you straight there. As I say, just helps to grow the channel, and we really would appreciate you supporting that. Also, if you're finding this content mildly amusing, informative, or just why not, just hit the thumbs up. And if you've got any hypes, give that as well. All of these things to help to move the YouTube algorithm in the right direction and push this content out to places it otherwise might not get. But Mateus Fernandes, get your comments in. Let's have a little look. Get your comments in, guys. How you doing, Chris? Nice to see you in there. I hope you are well. Ryan is in there. How you doing, mate? Hope you are good. And he says, evening, Gatesy, mate. Fantastic news for us, all things considered. Obviously, with the 15% sell-on clause and only having him for 1 season. Great news. Not ideal him going to Spurs, but we did it. I mean, look, that's the thing. I think that, do we enjoy doing business with Tottenham Hotspur? Probably not, truth be told. But the cold hard facts are, we're a championship club. They're a Premier League club. We lose our leverage against them. Once the player's made the decision that he wants to move on, as far as I'm concerned, the best thing you can do is get as much money in as you possibly can and just send them on their way. 85 million quid, which is more than double what we paid for him 12 months ago. Yes, 15% of, and as I say, I don't know if it's 15% of the 85 million or 15% of the profit that we've made on him that we have to move on to Southampton. But either way, we've got a decent chunk of change for a player that we had for 12 months. And for the time we had him, not in terms of length of tenure, I'm talking, but in terms of what he did on the pitch, I think he's done a reasonably decent job. So for us to get 85 million quid, I've got no problem with it. I know there are some people that would say not to that lot. I know there are some people that would say wish we could have sold him abroad so he couldn't come back and haunt us. Look, I think that Mateus Fernandes has been in England for a couple of years now. I think that once a lot of the clubs were sniffing around, I know Real Madrid were purportedly involved. I know that Paris Saint-Germain were purportedly involved. But like I say, I think reading between the lines, I think he just got into the London life. And look, I hate to say it, but for people that are not dyed in the wool East Enders, they probably do look at Tottenham and there's a bit of a pull there. I do scratch my head and go, why would you choose Tottenham over Manchester United? I'm not a Man United fan, obviously, but I do sit there and go, they're a much bigger club in terms of their profile, their history, their worldwide prestige, all of those things. Tottenham just aren't on the same page as Manchester United. They never have been and they never will be. And I'm not saying that to try and have a pop at Tottenham. It's just a cold, hard facts to reality. It's a bit like turning around and saying we're a championship club, they're Premier League clubs, and we can't possibly compete. we don't have the leverage. And that's fine. That's absolutely fine. James, hope you are well. Sad day for West Ham. I'm not so sure I agree. You're entitled to your opinion, and I'm not going to say that you're wrong. What I will say is that I just don't agree with that statement. We had a player for 12 months that we got decent service out of what he did. I know that it still resulted in a relegation from the Premier League, but let's have it right. That wasn't on him. And I think if you talk to most fans that were watching us last season, I think most people would turn around and say that arguably he should have carried off the Hammer of the Year award. I think there's multiple people I've spoken to. I had Gio on the channel last week, I think it was, and he turned around and said that if he had his way, Mateus Fernandes would have been the Hammer of the Year ahead of Konstantinos Mavropanos. But it's a public vote. It's a democracy. It is what it is. He got the award ahead of Fernandes, but we didn't go down because of him. I think that anytime, if you can in 12 months get over a 100% return on your investment, okay, 15% of it goes to Saints. I know that, but we've gone from a £38 million outlay on a player to then an £85 million return minus the 15% we got to send to the South Coast. But I got no problem with it. As I say, could it have been different if we didn't get relegated? Maybe we'd have had him another season. I don't think he'd have been here any longer than that, if truth be told. I think if we'd have stayed up in the Premier League, which we obviously didn't, I think that at best we'd have got another season out of him and then he'd have probably moved on. But I'm cool. I'm absolutely cool. Jay, hope you are well. 85 mil. Yeah, I mean, look, you can't grumble at that. Like I say, I refuse to be too downbeat over it. Look, I'm not that way inclined anyway. I'm usually quite a positive guy. I mean, don't get me wrong. I get the ump over things, as everybody does. Occasionally, I'll kick a bottle of water down the touchline, as lots of managers in the Premier League do, or the equivalent of. But like I say, do I want to do business with Tottenham Hotspur? Not really. I'd rather shit into my hands and clap, quite frankly. But if they're turning around and getting 85 million quid out of their back pocket and waving it in our general direction, and at the end of the day, we turned around and we set our stall out and said, we want 85 million quid for this player. And if you're not prepared to put 85 million quid on the table, then you can see yourself out. I'm perfectly fine with it. I am happy. I'm like I say, not happy you lose a player of his quality, but the moment we got relegated, I was resigned that our top level talent probably not going to stick around. So yeah, I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine with it. Ryan, well, he got relegated with us in Southampton, so hopefully he will get relegated with Spurs too. I wonder, Ryan, do you think if he does get relegated with Spurs next season, does he keep the match ball? I don't know. I am just asking the question. Has anybody ever been relegated from the Premier League in 3 successive seasons? I know there have been players that have been relegated multiple times. Roger the Relegator, Roger Johnson, remember him? Who else was there? Lee Carsley, I think, had a few relegations on his CV. There's been multiple players that have got 2-3 relegations on their CV. But has there ever been a Premier League player that has been relegated with 3 different teams, 3 successive seasons from the Premier League? I don't think it's happened. But, oh, mate, that would be absolutely hilarious, wouldn't it? Absolutely hilarious. Shell out 85 million quid. I'll tell you what, if he got relegated with Spurs, he would surely be called a Jonah. You would. I mean, you look, let's have it right. After 3 relegations, right? I'll tell you what, if next summer I was on a round the world cruise and Mateus Fernandes came walking up the gangplank, I'm getting my suitcases and I'm getting off, because there's every possibility that ship is going down, like the 3 teams that he's played for. So anyway, Ryan's just saying hello to Jay, and Jay's with his retort. Gatesy, did you see the Souček statement? I did not. I do not know to what you are referring to, Ryan. You are going to have to educate me, or I could just go on to YouTube, not YouTube. I'm on bloody YouTube. I can go Souček. Let me see if I can find something. I wasn't expecting to go down this rabbit hole, but let me have a little look and see if 28th of no. No, I can't see. There's nothing. Hold on. Is this it? No, it's the 13th of October. I can't find it, mate. Look, if you can give me a heads up on what I've missed as far as Thomas Souček's concerned, I'd be very grateful. But no, I've not seen the Souček statement. Is it good news, bad news? I'd be very interested to know. Janet, hope you are well. I hope everything is good with you. Thanks for popping in. And Toby says, get the likes up and show respect to the channel. Toby, really appreciate you banging the drum. It really does. I really do appreciate it. So let's have a little look. Who else is in the house? Good evening, Nana Jan and Ryan. Hope you're both well and having a great day. Some lovely pleasantries. And oh, look who's joined us. Jeff, hope you are well. 140 million. As far as Kudus, like, that still really winds me up. I've got to be honest with you, because we could have got more for Kudus. I know, look, we've had a good few quid out of them in the last 12 months, but I still think we could have got a few. I'm not saying we could have got 85 million quid for him despite the release clause. That was pie in the sky, because he was just absolutely crap the season before. Mind you, he's not exactly pulled up any trees for them, has he? He spent most of it on the treatment table. Be a shame if Mateus Fernandes does the same thing and that they get relegated, wouldn't it? Yeah. He's essentially confirmed he's staying. Great news. Listen, I know, as I said, he's a polarizing character. He divides opinions. I can understand why. I don't observe Thomas Souček and see the criticisms that come his way, and I'm not completely detached from it. I can understand it. He's not a Kevin De Bruyne or a player of that ilk or a David Silva. He's not silky skills and all the rest of it. But do you know what? That guy will run through brick walls for the cause. And do you know what? If I had to pick a team of 11 Thomas Součeks or 11 Lucas Paquetas, I am choosing the Czech salad muncher all day long and twice on a Sunday. I'm telling you that now. He's bled for the cause. People like Lucas Paqueta get brushed and fall down like they've been absolutely poleaxed. No. I will take Thomas Souček. Doesn't matter about his passing ability, his commitment, his determination, and all of that, and his ability to defend. You know, his aerial duels, he wins his fair percentage of them. He pops up with the, like I say, I know he's got his deficiencies. I'm not blind. I'm not deluded. I understand that there are things that he can't do, but that's where you need to get a player alongside him that can make up for his deficiencies, that can do the things that he can't. You need to find that blend, the yin and the yang. So good news. And just a few little hellos to Jeff as well. Hope you are good. And Nan, and all good. What else have we got here? So it's just sort of like all just saying hello to each other. This is lovely. This is like a little family, this. Toby and Frosty. I'm new. Just subscribed. And it's happened again. Thanks for Fernandes. Come on, you Spurs. Excellent. Welcome along, Frosty. Welcome along. Appreciate you subscribing. It really does mean an awful lot. Let me just have a little look. We're up to 2,115 subscribers. Oh my goodness, nosebleed territory, wouldn't you know it? As I say, if any of you are watching this, 13 of you watching live as we speak, you might be watching this after the event. In the top left-hand corner, There it is. QR code. You can scan that. It takes you right to our YouTube subscription page. It doesn't cost you any money. We don't get any data sensitive information. It just grows the channel and it reminds YouTube that we're here and maybe gives us half a chance. And don't forget to sort of like and type this particular broadcast. Damien, hope you are well. 85 million quid for 2 goals and 2 assists. Look, you could view it like that, Damien, and they are the statistics, but I think what he brought to the party was much, much more than that. So Frosty's giving us a little bit more of the old. Listen, we'll wait and see where you are in 12. Look, I got no problem because for the next 12 months, outside of if we get drawn against each other in the cup, he's not going to damage us. He's not going to hurt us. Hopefully, if we get promoted the season after, and if you still have him, assuming that you don't get relegated, because as I say, and I'm not trying to pick a fight here, but we got to face facts. You have finished 17th for the last 2 seasons. So, mind you, De Zerbi's doing a few bits, isn't he? He's not shy in getting the old checkbook out. Van Hecker, I think, is a good signing. I think that will be a good signing. But like I say, I'm happy with 85 million quid. And if you're happy with the signing, everybody's good. Everybody's good. And Damien, he's over the mood with it. Absolutely fine. And Ryan says he completely agrees with me. Well, there you go. Damien saying to Frosty, you got bumped. You bumped us on Kudus. We returned the favour, in my opinion. There is one way. Like I say, I do think we got a little bit screwed as far as Kudus was concerned. Mind you, Frosty, if you're still there, because although you got him for less than the release clause, 55 million quid, he started okay and then didn't really go so well. Do you think you've had value for money out of Kudus? Because I dare say you probably thought that 55 million quid when he had an 85 million release clause, you probably thought at the time, we've had a right touch there. And I'd be very interested to know what your thoughts are now that he spent most of the last couple of months on the treatment table. Let me just plug that in for my good lady. Just bear with me. So, is he a good player? I've not seen that much. Frosty, he is. Yeah, look, I'll tell you this. I think he's a cracking player. Moving my club allegiances to one side, if you're asking me objectively, him as a player, do I think he's good? Yep. Yeah, I think he's a good player. Good player. I think he'll probably be, look, again, I think his ceiling is higher than Tottenham Hotspur's. I seriously do. Potential, what he could go on to be. You got to understand, he's had clubs like Real Madrid and Paris Saint-Germain. With the best will in the world, you guys aren't on the same page as them. Now, if he stays with you for a couple of seasons and he progresses the way that he's been progressing with Southampton, with us, if he does the same thing with you guys, you've got him for 2 or 3 seasons and then he'll be off. He'll be off to Madrid. He will absolutely be off to Madrid as far as I'm concerned. He is a good player. He is a good player. So what we got? Oh, we got someone that's learning to spell. Oh, wonder what other letters he's gonna go in for. Oh dear. Yeah, you can probably guess. A whistleblower. Are you a referee? Is that what the reference is? It has to be, doesn't it? You have to be a referee. Well, I thought the referee was one of those. So, just saying. I do view it like that, says Damien. So that's all good. He says he is a good player. Exactly that. Not denying it. 85. We live in a crazy world. I mean, Premier League football. I know we're not a Premier League team, but they are. Premier League football, that sort of money, it is. But I think it's one of those things. See, it depends upon how you look at it, I suppose. If you view the £85 million as an investment in ensuring that Tottenham, and like I say, they have finished 17th for the last 2 seasons. If that £85 million can keep Tottenham Hotspur, not only keep Tottenham Hotspur as a Premier League club next season, but move them up the table and perhaps get them to qualify for Europe, is that £85 million well spent? I think it could be argued it is. We'll just have to wait and see. Toby says, can't wait for Nana Jan and Ryan to get 2,000 subscribers. Well, guys, if any of you are not subscribed to that West Ham channel, please share the love. As I say, there's no rivalries or any pettiness as far as I'm concerned. All the West Ham fan channels, I advocate subscribing to them all, whether it's that West Ham channel, whether it's the West Ham Massive, whether it's Hammers Chat, West Ham Network, West Ham Voice, Claret and Booze, the list goes on. We're all West Ham fans. We've all got our own DNA. We've all got our own delivery style. We've all got different demeanors and all of those things. And there are things that we all fundamentally can disagree on. And that's fine. But the one thing that brings us all together is our club. That's it. That's what it matters at the end of the day. So anyway, Jeff says he started okay. You're talking about Frank or Judas. Listen, whichever one you want to go down, Jeff, that's fine. Where are your? Listen, I've been keeping an eye out. We ain't had your dog walk videos. I did a dog walk video the other day with my dog. She stays off camera, but you know, your Coco, we have a little butchers at Coco as you're sort of taking her for a walk. So get back on it, mate. We're missing you. We're missing you. Frosty's back. So, well, Caduce was so good at the start, and then we relied on him too much. But if I'm honest, he was okay. We got bemmed for him. I can work that out. But Fernandes, I'd say we played too much. But I'll take it as it makes me happy that Enick is willing to pay that much money. So I'm happy now. We need to get Tonali. Is that not done? I thought that was done. I might have. Yeah. Okay. I mean, look, I think Caduce at the time, as I say, I think you guys probably all thought you'd had a right touch. I think now you'd probably question that, but maybe he'll come back. We'll see. Toby, my stepson is a Man United fan. Does he not sleep in the wheelie bin? And if he doesn't, he should. He's been saying we're getting Fernandes for the last few weeks. I told him he's gone to Spurs. He said he's effing shit and we didn't want him anyway. Well, he would say that now, wouldn't he, Toby? He would say that. Thank you, Gatesy, mate. Appreciate it massively. And Nana Jan says the same. Listen, that's just me. I think if you're a West Ham fan, you should subscribe to all the channels and you'll find something you like. There'll be something you don't like and you can unsubscribe from that or do what you want to do. But like I say, for me, we're all West Ham fans. We've all got the same. We all want the club to do well. Now, what we view that to look like varies, but ultimately, all us West Ham fans, we go into every season thinking we're going to win the Premier League. Well, this season we're not, obviously. So this season we're going to go into it thinking we're going to lift the EFL Championship. Now, that's a trophy with a great deal of history behind it. Stop and think about that. That's the league trophy that has been lifted by all the greats prior to the Premier League coming in. The likes of Graham Souness, the likes of Billy Bremner, the likes of, Bobby Charlton, all of those sort of great players that have lifted that trophy as when they've been crowned league champions. Now, I know that's no longer lifted by the league champions. It's lifted by the second tier champions. But that trophy is absolutely steeped in history, and I'd be quite keen to get my hands on it. So, but look, the name of the game is to get promoted. So even if we got promoted as runners-up, even if we got promoted through the playoffs, and I've been there when we've been promoted through the playoffs. I've also been there when we've lost in a playoff final when Palace beat us. That was not a great drive back. So I know which feeling I preferred when we was 12 months later when I went to Cardiff, watched us beat Preston. I wasn't there at the Wembley game when we beat Blackpool. I missed that. So qualify for Europe. Is it going to go down as far as 60? Listen, they might improve. They might improve, Jeff. You never know. They might make a tilt. They're not mucking about on the, shelling out the money. Let's have it right. Ryan says, me and Nana are doing a show tomorrow morning, so we'll pick you up. Oh, it's absolutely delightful of you, Ryan. There's absolutely no need, but if you do, I appreciate it. I don't know. What am I doing tomorrow? I might be able to sort of jump into the chat or something. I've got to be up early. I've got to be in Thurrock. I'm doing a stock take. What joy. I've got to do that 2 days in a row. Sit there with a bloody Bluetooth scanner, red, one of those sort of, infrared things, blip, 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 blip. And it makes me realize how utterly bored people that work on checkouts must be. Mind you, now there's not so many people that do that, because now you go to the Asda's or Sainsbury's or wherever, and they've got all them self-service ones. I mean, you putting people out of a job. Anyway, I'm getting on my soapbox. So, I spend my time boating and fishing in the summer, mate, but I have posted a walk on. Excellent news. Brilliant. I will keep an eye out for that. Don't you worry. Listen, we'll have to get you on, mate. We'll have to get you on the channel. I mean, I get that you're doing your bits and pieces and all the rest of it, but we'll get you on the channel. If you are agreeable, that would be amazing. Ryan says he'll give it a watch as well. Be good to see you back. It absolutely will. So, what we got from Frosty? So Tonali on his wages, we've got 275. What? 275 a week? Bloody hell! Plus bonuses. So we'll pay like two. I'm guessing that's 200 million, not 2,000 million. Bloody hell! If it was 2,000 million, God. Yeah. So wow, that's a hell of an outlay. They're not mucking about. So India. Listen, it is what it is, mate. I mean, look, I'm going to be dead honest with you. My wife's a Spurs fan. I actually love the banter. We all take the piss out of one another, but when all said and done, it's all just a load of old stuff and nonsense, really, in it. There are some people that get really into it and really sort of, but I'm not built like that. I like to take the piss out of people, and I like people to take the piss out of me. That's just the way I operate. So I take a joke, I give a joke. So, and like I say, my missus knows that. So I'm right, you're wrong. Do you hear that? He's right, I'm wrong. That's not nice. So no problem, mate. We will do. That'd be nice to see you in chat. As I say, if I can, because I'm going to be starting it probably about 7:30. And obviously, once I'm doing the count, I've got to really concentrate on it because I can't get it. It's a really important business audit. So if I can, I'll be in. I'll say my hellos and like you're doing. So yep, absolutely. And Jeff, yeah, let's say we'll sort something out, mate. No problem at all. I think Fernandes is getting two. That's mad, isn't it? That's mad. £1 million a month, £12 million a year, 5-year contract. I'm guessing. I don't know. I'm gonna guess he's on a 5-year contract, right? That's 60 million quid. 60 million quid. That's madness. As I say, I don't know if he's on a 5-year contract. I'll just pluck that figure out of the air, but bloody hell. Unbelievable. Yeah, and exactly that. It is just banter. Look, a lot of I'm from South London. Although I'm a West Ham fan, I'm actually a South London West Ham fan. And most of my family are Millwall fans. We all take the piss out of each other. I'm looking forward to this season. Don't worry about that. It will give me the opportunity to. But if we don't get the result, then I'm going to cop it, and that's fine. No, appreciate that, Ryan. I really do. But he's not done yet. We still need to get the fee for him. But Man City, maybe he's won him. But I think we'll get him for 100 million. Cracking player, Tonali. I think if you can have a midfield pairing, so that would be obviously Fernandes and Tonali. I think that instantly makes you a bit stronger than it. And Van Hecker at the back. I've heard that Vicario's moving on. My missus tells me this. Vicario's moving on. You're not going into the season with Kinski as your number one, are you? And my missus has just told me you are. I don't mean to be funny. I think you need a new goalkeeper. I don't think he's good enough. But I can only go on what I've seen. Bowling Lounge just subbed, and we've been looking forward to watching your walk and talk. Yes, very good. Very good. As I say, he does the dog walk video, same as I do from time to time. Just walking around, press play, and here she goes. Here she goes. She's piping up again. Look. What was that? I walk the dog. You walk the dog. Yeah. But that's because I'm doing the important job of talking to the people that are out there. All my 2,115 subscribers, and not just them, but the 60-odd% of people in the last 28 days that have watched the content that don't subscribe, that haven't scanned that QR code and gone to subscribe to the channel. Hint, hint. So if there's any of you 16 that are watching live, now it's 15, there you go, or subsequently that have not subscribed to the channel, why not? All you need to do is get out your mobile device, scan that QR code. It will take you to the YouTube subscription page, and subscribing is completely free of charge. We do not get that any data sensitive information. It just grows the channel. And if you're sitting there and you're saying, yeah, but I'm a Tottenham fan, I'm a Millwall fan, I'm a Chelsea fan. So what? So what? You can come on here, you can take the piss out of me, and so long as you don't cross the boundaries, that's fine. And I can take the piss out of you, and I won't cross the boundaries, and that's fine. And we can all just have a laugh. What's not to like? What we got? So Vicario is going, as far as I'm aware. I think Kinski is number 1 for next season for Spurs. They've signed Dubravka, I think, but he's only he's not going to go in as their number 1. I'd be amazed, because Dubravka was at Burnley, and I don't think he really covered himself. I think he was a good goalkeeper, but I think his time has come and gone. So we'll get to Nali too. Where do you think we finish in the league? Nessie, Robertson. I'll tell you what, that is a cracking signing. I think he's still got plenty to give. Van Hecker, Dubravka's got to be your backup goalkeeper. Has to be. No way. I mean, if they're your 2 goalkeepers, that's, I think, where you could come unstuck. I think you've got to get a proper goalkeeper. Do you know what I mean? In my opinion, because I don't think either. I think Dubravka would have been good enough 5 years ago or so, 8 years ago. He'd have been good enough for you. Not now. Kinski, I just don't see it. That's just my opinion. So they definitely need a governor goalkeeper. Ryan agrees. Fernandes and Tonali for that. Yeah. And sorry, in answer to the question, where do I think you would finish in the league? Look, in my opinion, 18th. No, I'm only joking. My missus has just told me to go away, but she said it in a rather more blunt way. I'm sorry if any of you heard her swear.
That's what our son has just said as well.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so he comes 20th.
Oh, okay. Oh, he just said 20th. Okay. All right. Well, I think it does hinge on the goalkeeper for me. I think if you're going into the season with Kinski, I just think you're still too brittle at the back. I think you'll score goals, but you'll concede too many. 10th. If you turn around to me and say, oh, we're going to sign a goalkeeper and it's this goalkeeper, and I go, ooh, he's good. He's good. You could be pushing for Europe, but the goalkeeper for me is the most important position on the pitch. If you get that right, you've got a chance of doing something. If you get that wrong, it's a long, hard season for you. Yeah, we've had that one. Sorry about that, Ryan. So Frosty, for all these things could happen, I see a solid improvement, 8th, 10th. Again, I think it hinges on the goalkeeper, mate. But we still need a winner and a striker, a winger and a striker. Sorry. But top are linked to Rashford, Gakpo and wins, and Balogun. What, the ex-Arsenal player? Ooh. My missus isn't. She is it Folarin Balogun? Used to play for Arsenal. You know him? She's not keen. She's not keen. She'll cope with West Ham. That's nice of her. Very noble gesture. Don't mind if I do. That's not nice. Hammer time. Come on. We can all just take the piss out of it. No need for that. Come on, behave. Josiah Green Moth, hope you are well. Man United fans are crying. I'd like to know what it was that made him go. The only thing I can think of is that they're putting a load of money. Well, I think someone's put in the chat they've offered him £250,000 a week. Amazing. And the other thing I think he likes life in London, truth be told. Is your dog a West Ham fan or a right? Okay, so story time. So my dog, Winnie, I got off of someone that you will know if you follow West Ham fan YouTube channels. If you know Mr. Nick Killington of Claret and Booze, I got Winnie of a litter of pups that his dog had, and she's now 3, Winnie. And as soon as my daughter knew that her name was Winnie and she was named Winnie after Winston Reid, my daughter insisted that that was the dog that we had to get, because we lost our French bulldog Bubbles a couple of months earlier. She was a Frenchie, and it was one of those things where we was absolutely gutted about losing Bubbles. And then one day my son turned around, he came home from work and said, "Dad, we need to get a dog. It's too quiet." And then one thing led to another, and then there was a conversation I had with Nick. I can't remember how it all come about, but I think maybe I'd seen on social media, on my Facebook or something, that he'd obviously, his dog had some pups, and one thing led to another. We had conversations. We went around there, blah blah blah. And as I say, we've now got Winnie. We've had her for 3 years. So yeah, that's she is definitely a West Ham fan. In answer to the question, Toby, I've gone round the houses to answer it, and back I come. She is definitely a West Ham fan because we got her from a West Ham household because it was Nick Killington, and her name's Winnie, and she's in a West Ham house now, so she hasn't got a choice. And yes, I know my wife's here, but it's a West Ham house, and that's all there is to it. So, Ryan is 19th, cheeky. Joking, of course. I reckon around 8th to 10th potentially get a goalie sorted and that's me. That's exactly me. I think the goalkeeper position, if Tottenham go into that season with Kinski as the number 1 and the backup as Dubravka, I'm not so sure that's good news for Tottenham. Frosty says, I'm a content creator too, but I do Spurs content. Whoever said 20 get out? I don't know what that even means. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, because I'm going to have a little look. If you've subscribed to me, I think, and this is just me, this is just my way of working. Let me have a little look. And what I will do, if you've subscribed to me, Frosty, I will certainly reciprocate that gesture. Let me find you. What is your channel called, mate? I've put in your username, Frosty. Is it Frosty Goss 19? Right, hold on. Hang on. Let me see if I can find you. No. Do us a favor. Let me know what your channel is, mate. And as I say, if you've subscribed to me, I think one good turn deserves another, and all that. So if you let me know what your channel is, I'll give you a sub as well. As I say, I think it's the right thing to do. So appreciate it. We will do the double over Millwall, Charlton, and QPR. I hope so, Josiah. I really do. And it's absolutely fine, mate. As I say, if you subscribe to me, then like I say, if you pop us across your channel handle, if you've got a YouTube channel, then I'll give you a sub. Absolutely no problem at all. Spurs can have Kilman if they like. Really good player and would help their defense massively. I'll tell you what, Frosty, don't dismiss this one out of hand. He's £40 million. He's quality. He's Frosty Goss 19. That's it. Okay. All right. Let me have another look. I'm gonna. Oh, do you know why? I've spelt your bloody name wrong. Hang on a minute. Hang on. Okay, there you are. Right. Hang on a minute. Let me subscribe. Right. I have just subscribed. You've gone from 241 subscribers to 242, and I'm the 242nd of that number. So there you go. Excellent. And now that we're subscribing to each other's channels, can I interest you in Max Kilman? We got him for 40 million quid, and he's been an absolute rock at the center of our defense. Imperious defender, absolutely amazing. Like a modern day Franz Beckenbauer, Bobby Moore, Franco Baresi, Paolo Maldini, all rolled into one. The guy is a Rolls Royce. Best defender that I think I've ever seen in claret and blue. But the truth of the matter is, now that we have been relegated from the Premier League, Max Kilman needs to play Premier League football. And I think that Tottenham could be his home. I think that Tottenham is the destination for Max Kilman. Now, look, he won't come cheap. We shelled out 40 million quid on him. But since then, it has to be said, he has gone from strength to strength. His reputation has gone up and up and up despite our struggles. So, Frosty, what I've got to tell you is it will probably cost you maybe about 65 million. Maybe we could do a deal. I reckon. I tell you what, this is to the West Ham fans, Frosty. So if we say that Max Kilman's worth 65 million, but Tottenham say that maybe they can't shell that out because they've spent money on Tonali and Fernandes. If they offered us a player in part exchange, who would you take? But honestly, Frosty, he's an amazing player. No, I think you probably saw him in the one bad game he played. You probably just caught him. I think that was the game that he had a dodgy curry. He wasn't right. You've got to factor that in, my friend. So, oh, come on. Let's do business. You need a centre back. You need to stiffen up your defence. Max Kilman is your man. So let me know. Don't dismiss it out of hand. Just saying. And I hope Hull, Ipswich and Coventry stay up. What would be the odds on that? All three teams that have been promoted from the second tier up to the top tier staying there. Okay, let's expand that question. If those three teams stay up, who goes down?
Hello.
Ivory Coast have just scored.
Yeah.
1-1. Is it Norway they're playing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oscar Bob come on as well.
Okay. Anyway,
I don't know.
Going back to where we started, I'm going to finish with this. I think 85 million quid for Mateus Fernandes, we've got to recognise is an absolutely brilliant deal for West Ham. 12 months and we've made that in profit. Over 40 million pounds worth of what's that? That's 47 million pounds. Is that right? Is my maths correct? 47 million pounds worth of profit in 12 months. Okay, 15% of whether it's the profit or whether it's the total outlay goes to Southampton. So we won't get all of that. But we've done great. And if Sullivan was still in the building, we would have probably sold for a lot less than that. And we'd have felt like we were robbed. So even this sale, in my opinion, is indicative of a completely different mentality from the top of the club. And everything filters down from the top downwards. I really do believe that. So the fact that we've said 85 million quid is our price and not less than that. And according to Fabrizio Romano and David Ornstein, we're getting 85 million quid. So I think Kretinsky, Karim Varane, have played an absolute blinder as far as this is concerned. All the very best to Mateus Fernandes. All joking aside, I wish him the best of luck. He did well for us, and I've got no problem with that. But we've just got to put the money in the back pocket, invest it wisely. Probably we're going to lose Somerville as well. I think we're going to get a good price for him. I'll probably do a video about that. So if I put a video out, you guys that are watching, you need to watch it. Okay. So once I've finished doing this stream, I'll get the recording for tomorrow's video out. Make sure you watch it. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, all of that good stuff. Let me have a little look. Has anybody else subscribed? Has anybody else felt like he's mildly? No, we're still at 21:15. That's fine. I don't mind. That's fine. So, but if any of you do know any West Ham fans, make sure you give them a little nudge and tell them that we're here. The West Ham Massive on YouTube. What's not to like? So, anyway, I am going to end this stream. As I say, I think we've done brilliantly. I think we've done an amazing job to get 85 million quid. We've not been hoodwinked. Hopefully, all of the signs, all of the noises about getting in a director of player recruitment, Mark Noble stepping up, all of these things, I think are going to really... Why is my thing not charging? Oh, I'll tell you why. It's because I haven't plugged it in. What a wally. Is that it? Hang on. Wait a minute. See, my laptop is telling me that the battery is dying. I don't know why. Hang on. That's a bit weird. Doesn't matter. I'm about to end the stream. So there you go. Anyway, look, guys, really appreciate you being here. As I say, do us a favor before you go. If you haven't, subscribe to the channel. In the top left-hand corner, you got the QR code. Get your mobile device out. Scan that. It takes you to our subscription page. Subscribing is free of charge. Don't get any data-sensitive information. It just grows the channel into something bigger and better than what it is that you find it. And we would appreciate your support. Also, if you could drop a like on the stream, give us a hype if you've got one available, and maybe consider sharing this content onto your social media platforms for your fellow West Ham fans to get their teeth into, or Tottenham fans, or Millwall fans, or Chelsea fans, or Arsenal fans. Maybe draw the line at Arsenal fans. Anyway, no, go on. Come one, come all. Anyway, guys, appreciate your time. We'll see you again soon. Come on, you Iron.
West Ham are massive everywhere we go. West Ham